Welcome to Greg and Grace Friday Fact. Today, what are we going to talk about, Grace?
We're going to talk about IV therapy.
Getting hot out there. Getting hot out there. So, what can we do to stay hydrated? Well, one, make sure you're drinking enough fluids. So that just goes without being said. Drink fluid. If you want to, I don't know, of your weekend warrior, you got a softball game coming up this weekend, you just want to make sure the tanks are all extra full, come talk to us about IV therapy. So let's talk about a little bit of IV therapy and what it does and how it helps you, blah, blah, blah. First off, talk about pricing, right? Here, Grace, why don't you tell them what the pricing is? I'll explain it, I'll explain it and then let her go to pricing. So you can buy them individually. Of course, anything in volume is cheaper. So you can buy them individually or you can buy them by a 6-pack or a 3-pack. So if, that's 35. Anyway, the phone ring. I don't know if that's ringing on the video, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Sorry about that. We're getting used to. She's the social media person. So the IV therapy. I use Olympia Pharmacy to get our medications for our IVs, and they have some really good mixes. They've already spent the time and energy and figured out. Can you grab me a pair of my glasses off the desk? Which amino acids, which vitamin, which mineral to put in the mix to give us the best results. So I use their standard ones, but I also do additional ones. But some of their standard ones, for example, are Get Up and Go. That includes a vitamin complex and amino acid blend complex. We also have Alleviate. That's more for ladies with their menstrual cycles, basically. It comes with calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, vitamin complex, and B12. We have Brainstorm, kind of stimulate the brain, help us get rid of the brain fog. That comes with L-taurine, alpha-lipoic acid, and vitamin B6. You don't need to know all the ingredients. We have lots of different IVs, lots of different ingredients in each. The standard IVs are the pricing that she's going to give you. When we add additional components, of course, there's an additional cost for me, so we need to somehow cover that. For example, if you want to get the Get Up and Go, but you wanted to increase your immunity, we could add glutathione. Or for example, we could add L-carnitine to an IV to help you preserve your lean mass. NAD by itself is a very good IV. That one we have to go slow with because it can be stimulating, you can get flushed, but it's very good. NAD, you can read about that on the internet or wherever. NAD is pretty much the fountain of youth. I just started my trial of it myself with the NAD topical. I'm not going to tell you which side, but we're going to watch over time if you can see any difference in one side of my face versus the other and see if the stuff that we're doing works. Well, anyway, so that's the IVs. And starting at a very affordable price of $125, again, we have a bunch of different ones. It is not a menu list. Yes, there's a menu to help you pick what you're thinking is going on, but this is medically directed. In other words, it's not just somebody on the street corner selling you IV hydration. To be a good medical spa with good IV therapy, you need to have medical advice and thought going into these IVs. IVs can be dangerous if they're in the wrong hands, so be careful where you're going. A lot of places are owned by people who are not even medical, and it's a menu driven. They just pay a medic or a nurse's aide to start the IVs for them. I'm not talking in the individual competition. Just be careful where you go. Make sure it's not just menu driven and you get to talk to your provider about what you're looking for. It's very important you talk to whoever's administering the fluids and the minerals and vitamins of what we're trying to fix. There's not a one blanket fix all. Sure, sodium chloride, normal for almost every IV. That's the basis. But beyond that, when we're trying to personalize your care, we need to talk about the symptoms and then we can find the solution. So what's the prices?
So for one IV, it's $125. For 2 IVs, it's $245. For 3 IVs, it's $365. For 4 IVs, it's $385. For 5, it's 405, and for 6, it's 425.
So 425 for 6, and what's important about that to remember is they don't all have to be for you. For example, if you and your husband, each one, you can buy a 6-pack and you each can come in 3 times. Or you can come in 4 times, he can come in 2, whatever, however you want to break it up. The only stipulation to that is if somebody else wants to use your IVs, I do have to enroll them as a patient so I can get their patient information. You can pay for it on your account, that's no problem, but I do have to make sure that they're entered as a patient so we keep everything legal, and so you can transfer your records to somebody else if you need to. So IV hydration is important, and also what we're putting in the IVs is important. And you don't have to look at it only for hydration. A lot of times, myself included, I will use an IV as a performance enhancement. And for example, if I'm gonna go do a 5K or a 10K, I will do it before and after, just to make sure that the tanks are full and I have all the energy I need. And I will probably put in extra glutamine, arginine, things like that based on the situation. So I highly recommend it. And another thing that's really different about us, most places, if you go to an IV spa, if they have oxygen therapy, they will charge you additional. If you want to have O2 running while you're getting your IV, we can set you up with O2, no additional charge. So that's an important thing to remember as well. And I'm getting bored with this conversation, so I'm sure you are too. So hit us up with any comments, complaints, issues, things you want us to talk about. We'll answer that phone and tell you goodbye. Have a good one.